As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. I was born into freedom in a wonderful land of mountains and plains, rivers and lakes. Forever American is what I am. A past as rich as any can be. My father's worked hard to give this to me. I love this place I come from. To live another way I cannot foresee. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. As an American, I've been to the peaks of majestic mountains where the air is sweet. I've watched the eagle as it soars in beautiful skies that just can't be ignored. And by this country I'll always stand, for freedom and liberty for every man. When times are hard and things get rough, America always stands ready and rough. As an American, I eat apple pie, play baseball under its blue skies. As an American, I travel this land and follow her roads wherever I can. From sea to shining sea, I've seen a lot, and none of it will be forgot. And when my country called, I gave my all as an American. And when my country called, I gave my
Well, good evening, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? Hi, Rodney. Hi, Richard. Hi, Nana. Hi, Tia. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Paulette. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Josie. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Corinne. Hi, Paulette. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Glenda. Hi, Melinda. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Karen. Hi, Debbie Martin. Hi, Matt. How you guys are doing tonight? Hopefully, you guys are doing good. Hopefully you guys are all doing good out there. A lot of lies going through the media right now, and lies from the government. Let's talk about the first one. We all know about the Ohio train derailment and how supposedly there was no health hazards, because they proved the people out. Now, today, Ohio opens health clinic amidst growing health concerns over the train derailment. The clinic opened at noon, of course. Opened at noon Tuesday for any East Palestinian area residents with questions related to their train derailment and health issues. The health department is launching the clinic in East Palestine on Tuesday to address and monitor health concerns amongst residents, and prompted Norfolk Southern officials to release and burn toxic chemicals. We know the explosion was unavoidable, and we knew, of course, it would lay a health risk. Of course, the government was saying there wouldn't be any health risk. The department, of course, now releasing more information that's saying that it could lead to serious health risk. I mean, we know that. People with medical questions and concerns are told to go to the area and go to the clinic there, which will open at noon tomorrow. It's pretty crazy. I mean, legal action is being taken already against Northrop Southern. I mean, really, what's going to happen, though, is just a joke. I mean, there's some strange things going on the Ohio thing. Yeah. You're no longer yours. That is exactly right, Teresa. And that's nobody knows about that yet, but we'll see that soon. Yeah, we're going to talk about Biden's surprise visit, supposedly. Hi, BK. How you doing? Hi, Melinda. Yeah, we're looking at this, and I mean, this isn't the only train incident that we're going to be talking about tonight, because we're also going to talk about a pipe bomb found near Philadelphia train tracks. I mean, a lot of conspiracy theories are abound now. Reports of pipe bomb being discovered near the train tracks have prompted lots of individuals that the incident is somehow linked to recent train derailments, such as the one bordering Ohio and Pennsylvania that led to the toxic spill. Passerby the spot of the PVC pipe with captains and unknown black powder on, of course, Frankfort Avenue on the train tracks. It was an 18-inch pipe bomb had been found. That's what it actually was. A single set of tracks were sitting right close to the church, right across where the bomb was located. This is dangerous. I mean, reports, of course, the police shut down the area and the bomb squad removed the suspected device and taken it back to headquarters for further investigations. Of course, the incident occurred just 2 weeks after the Ohio derailment. This is crazy. Our rail system is definitely in need of a state of repair. A lot of stuff. I'm not going to say what DEFCON level website because that is not right on the website. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, there's been more than seven derailments with toxic chemicals in that public right now. But I mean, these spills. I mean, the biggest one in Ohio, it's going to affect waterways well downstream for decades. And of course, if this bomb would have went off and took out the train that was coming, there would have been a lot more than 5 cars of toxic chemicals spilled into the reservoir system. So the two incidents that being claimed by social media users who are using their near coincidence to claim that both cases are caused by domestic terrorism or part of the government conspiracy. You know, it might be a government conspiracy. You never know, especially with everything happening. The government lying to us at every turn. Oh, there's no way anything was going bad. Yeah, steel plant exploded in Ohio. It's just one thing after another, literally. And the government's first thing they said was, "Oh, there's no way these chemicals are going to cause problems in the future. We just have to temporarily evacuate the area." We know that's not true. We know the fallout from the chemicals are already causing problems, and it's going to get worse. A lot of people say, "Don't be surprised if fingerprints on this pipe bomb that didn't go off come back with fingerprints of federal agents." I mean, that's pretty sad when people are thinking the same thing around not just a couple people, a large sum of people are thinking the same thing. Ridiculous. Yes, if the property is considered hazardous, it could be stripped of your property rights and be part of government property to keep it secure and safe from people going into it. Another thing today, a new earthquake hit southern Turkey and Syria. Amongst all the damage and everything that's happened there, it is very sad. 6.4 magnitude earthquake comes after the devastation we've seen by the worst earthquake in near than 2 decades. I mean, this is crazy. The strong earthquake and its aftershocks in southern Turkey and Syria today, causing buildings to collapse, killing people once again. We don't know how many. I mean, but after the devastation earlier this month, this is crazy. It's one thing after another. This new 6.4 magnitude earthquake shook the southern Turkey province of Hatava just after 8 p.m. local time today. It was followed by several tremors. We're going to keep following and seeing how many people end up passing from this, but this is bad. Yeah, our status is not correct. And I'm going to say the true DEFCON status is not public. DEFCON status is they tried to downplay them as much as possible for public because they don't want public outcry. Like it went to a 2 temporary, nobody wanted to say why, and it just disappeared again. Back to a 3. The public statement. I mean, more than 300 people have been treated so far for injuries from this earthquake that happened earlier tonight, which would have been around 4 or 5 p.m. our time, I think. Yeah, we don't know what's going on in Wuhan. We're gonna be following that as well, but all I'm gonna say is that's the lab is suspected of remaking a 1 week rated here. But it's crazy. So the government lying to us about what's happened in Ohio and how bad it actually is. I mean, got DeSantis and Trump. There's big events coming up this week. You guys don't know. Ron DeSantis and Trump are both going to be at dueling events in Palm Beach. Hopefully, we'll have somebody there at DeSantis' event. Of course, Trump, we know, will be publicized anyways. This week, the wealthiest enclaves in the country, of course, will be fighting for the cash campaigning, and Trump is scheduled to appear Tuesday night at a fundraiser. We know DeSantis has a fundraiser tonight as well. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, well, we're taking calls. Anybody that wants to call in, go ahead and call in. Yeah. Yep. 4-pillar government system, Teresa. You are exactly right. I don't know. I live in Florida. Percent has always been pretty good. But of course, Biden supposedly did a surprise trip or an unannounced visit to Kiev today. But it wasn't unannounced, let's be honest. Russia was even notified ahead of time before he even landed. As Biden made his visit today to Kiev, the first time he's been in the country since Russia's invasion started almost a year ago. Of course, he wasn't this scared just to be friendly and everything. He pledged additional aid for Ukraine and reaffirmed U.S. support for the embattling country. Yeah, that's right. He's promised another $500 million in new military aid to Ukraine during his visit. And that's not it. Come to find out, there's more people there than just what we supposedly knew about. I don't know if you guys know, but there's former U.S. Marines in Bukhmut, Ukraine, fighting. Yes, that's right, fighting. Hi, welcome to Real News Live. You're live on air.
Hi, Chris. It's me, Deb.
Hi, Dad. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing okay. Don't like this weather because it makes me hurt, but what the hell. Hey, so I have a question. I just heard about this today. Oh, and now I can't think of the name of it. So there's another virus coming out that's not COVID. It's something they talked about. No, Murad or something like that. It's not COVID, and and it has a less than
Oh, the
10% survival rate.
Nuremberg virus, and that's been around for a long
Yes.
time. It just has spread. But H5N1 is the one I'd be concerned about, and that's the bird flu. And I don't know if you guys actually heard of this, but it jumped to a family of sea lions about a month ago, and it wasn't. Nobody made a big deal out of it. Everybody just pushed it off to the side. But then it now has jumped to a family of mink and a mink farm. Now, mink have very similar respiratory system than ours. It's not like such a far grasp for them to infect us. The problem is H1N5 or H5N1 would have a 60% kill rate in humans if it were to transfer. And that's not a question. We know that just from observing what happens when mammals get it of other species. And the Nuremberg virus that's in South Africa is something that's been around forever. Didn't quite have a name for it, but it's slowly growing. And yeah.
So what the heck is? I mean, are they releasing all these viruses? Were these like viruses that were? Because I know that they have labs where they keep viruses.
The problem is South Africa, and this developed because we've been trying to create a cure for Ebola. Let's be honest, and we keep pushing these chemicals on people that have viruses that don't really kill off the virus, but push it down somehow. So then it obviously adapts. So a virus is going to want to live just like we want to live. Our bodies try to fight it, and that's what it does. It fights the vaccine or the antibodies we try to treat it with, and it becomes something new. That's how gain of function studies and everything else gets done and make extremely bad viruses. Now, I'm not going to say we're not releasing them, but some of them, I mean, it's just naturally evolution of a virus, especially when you keep pushing chemicals. Like the antibiotics. I mean, penicillin used to treat almost anything because we didn't treat anything. The problem is we started overusing penicillin to the point where now no longer does penicillin really work on anything anymore.
No, the viruses are immune to it. They've adapted to it, I guess you could say, and they're immune to it. So I don't take antibiotics if I don't have to. You know, I steer clear of this last bout when I was really sick. They were going to give me an antibiotic, and I said no. I'll just stick to my honey and ginger. And
well, the problem isn't you taking the antibiotics. The problem is everybody else that runs to the doctor and does, because your immune system is going to be stronger, so you won't need the antibiotic nearly as quick as they will. But the problem is they're making these viruses so strong that even when they do come to you and you go to get an antibiotic, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And with all these train derailments, like I sent you the picture that I got earlier. I shared it with a few. At least I think I sent you the map of where they're happening. And isn't it strange that all of a sudden all these derailments are happening, and they're happening in areas that are major food producing areas?
I can't say it's true because average derailments a year are around 100 derailments a year, and we're right on schedule for average right now. So we're not at a drastic amount. The thing is the size and load rate of these derailments. Usually derailments happen in train yards when they're trying to switch tracks and other things. The derailments we're having now are on open track. Like the brakes shouldn't even been engaged in Ohio where they were. But yet you could see the glowing underneath the car. I don't know if you guys realize that. The brakes were engaged. There's no reason those brakes should have been engaged at that time. So there's a lot of questions going on what's happening and what's going to happen.
Okay, and you mentioned DeSantis. Okay, I've done some digging on DeSantis. I thought DeSantis was like awesome and like it would have been a great ticket for him and Trump. I'm not thinking that anymore, finding out that he's been groomed and paid for by that Cohn, Kohn dude, and the money tracks back to Soros, and he's a globalist.
You know what? Trump's money tracks back to Soros before Trump ran for office. Let's be honest. DeSantis is not a globalist. I didn't know that. DeSantis is far from a globalist. He was born to a poor family. an immigrant family. He's worked his way up through politics. He's done right by the country. He's a big institutionalist. I mean, just because
But
somebody
he,
funded them in their early career or back before they started to move into politics does not mean that that's what they're about. That's what they're going to be
well,
about.
supposedly they're going to throw all their money behind him to make sure if he runs, because he hasn't said yet definitely that he's going to run, but to knock Trump out because they don't
Oh,
want Trump back
he's
in
going
office at
to
all.
he's going to announce it this week, and I guarantee it. As fundraisers start this week in Palm Beach, like I said, the events are scheduled this week. He's going to announce he's going to run. I think Nikki Haley is a good candidate. I'm not going to bash her at all, but I'm going to say Trump.
She's
Let's be
running, isn't
honest.
she?
Yes, she's a good candidate. I'm not going to say she's not.
Yes.
But I'm going to say Trump is a outlying candidate now because Trump was great in office, but his got him in so much trouble that too much of the country hates him for it.
Right
Well,
now
I think
everybody
it'll be more
hates it.
divisive of trying to keep Trump in. I think either a DeSantis presidency or even a DeSantis Haley. I could see.
Well, you know who I really like is Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah, but Huckabee's not going to leave Arizona or Arkansas.
Arkansas. No, I think she needs to get her feet wet as governor, but I could see her making a run for president, and I think she'd be good. I think she'd be good for us, but
And that's the
I
thing
don't
is
know.
like a lot of people think, like I know who Trump's VP pick will be. That's Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I don't think Trump really stands a chance in this political field. I mean, yes, he could get the votes, but would it be the best interest for the Republican Party? Would he actually get the presidency? I mean, it would be basically another Trump versus Biden, the same VPs, VP for Biden. I think we would be
Right.
better off pushing a better candidate. I think a DeSantis Haley run would be good.
I think it would be good too. If you're saying that
Haley's-
Sanders is a bad guy and he is really a good guy and would do right by us, because he did fantastic for Florida.
I mean, even DeSantis Scott would be decent. I mean, I don't really like Scott much because of other things he's decided, but let's
But
be
I think
honest.
you are right
It's
about
gonna
Trump. I
it's gonna
think,
come down to Trump and Ron DeSantis. Those are going to be the two front runners.
and I think Trump is he is just pissed off too many freaking people and just too much. I mean, he's got his diehard supporters. If DeSantis doesn't run, after hearing what you're saying that DeSantis is okay, if DeSantis doesn't run, I'm definitely voting Trump. But if DeSantis is going to run and he is a good guy, then, I mean, we got to think about what's better for this country. And I just think I don't think much will get done because they'll be too busy trying to bury Trump.
Well, see, that's the thing is we already have the House. I know we're going to pick up the Senate in 2024. We're going to keep the House. That's not a question. So I don't think it'll be a problem even if Trump gets in office. And I love Trump. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying just overall, I don't want to see a civil war. That's what I don't want to see.
I don't either want to see that happen. And then also with all these, everything was supposed to come out, the Hunter Biden laptop, Epstein's list, all the names, all the, I guess the videos from January 6th, all this stuff was supposed to come out and happen. And as soon as all that's supposed to happen, we got all these UFOs, we got all these train derailments, we got everything like it's the left hand is saying, look over here while the right hand's being shady. It's like, what the hell is...
I think the UFO stuff, I mean, Russia's admitted that the one up in Alaska was there. No matter what they would say, Russia's already claimed that the device or the object that was shot down in North Alaska was theirs. And even though nobody's saying it is or isn't, we know that. We heard what happened about the balloon that China definitely released. We know the one that was supposedly over Lake Huron. That's the only one question because if you listen to pilot audio, it definitely was on a balloon. Somebody said something when they made the audio staticky. And then all of a sudden he came
Right.
back and says, "Oh yeah, it's a balloon." I mean, it was clearly that the object went from one space and jumped to another space very quick.
Real fast. That's it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
heard the recording from the pilot that it was moving
I
too
mean, he
fast.
said it's in front of him at like 2 degrees off his vision, and then all of a sudden it was all the way off to the left-hand side. It was drastic change in where it was, which can't just happen. Now, what it was, we don't know. But
No.
that's the thing, it just creates more chaos in the atmosphere. People are hearing more stories about this, about that. I mean, who's talking about the debt right now?
Nobody.
Who's talking
That's what
about
I'm saying.
inflation?
Everything is
Well,
looking
inflation is
at all
out of
these other things.
control.
Yes.
I mean, no
All
matter
these
what,
massive.
they've already pushed these viruses out, and whether we want to claim it on the bird flu or not, the price of eggs is still skyrocketing, and it's going to keep going up. There's no end in sight
Right.
for that. America's changing. I mean, price of chicken is ridiculous now.
Oh, I went to the store today and I was shocked. I had to just shake my head. These hamburger buns, ball frank or whatever they're called, Hawaiian like tailgater buns. They used to be $3.54 for 12. They were $6 today. No way am I spending $6 for 12 hamburger buns. I was like, come on, what the hell? And the price of produce, which we know that's going to skyrocket.
Plastic Easter eggs. Plastic eggs. That's the perfect kind of eggs. You can eat those all you want.
Yeah.
They'll last forever. Yeah.
And then the water. Okay, so I sit in where the Ohio River Valley and the water effect and all that. And I'm like, I can't afford one of those Berkeleys. What the hell am I supposed to do to filter water? I mean, my water.
Filter it anyways, you would have to actually. And the thing is, a lot of those chemicals they can be vaporized quicker than water. So even distilling it doesn't kick it out.
I saw another.
Take it out.
Reverse osmosis. So like one of those that you put on your faucet, it would be good to have.
No, it wouldn't take it out. That's what I'm saying. Even distilling the water wouldn't take it out because vinyl chloride evaporates at a lower boiling point than water.
I saw another thing from a guy that was, I think I shared the one video with you, but like he was trained with all this stuff, and he was talking about the gneiss. What's the name of the gas that it becomes that they used in the war? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that its half-life is real small, and that like it dissipates in the air, and then once it hits the ground, it dissipates. It doesn't have a real long life after
that's
the first initial.
When you burn it, you still get the hydrocarbons from the original.
Right.
And Agent Orange had fallout, and Agent Orange still has fallout today in Vietnam. There's still birth defects and everything else happening. It's made when it was burnt, or tried to be burnt, it would spread more vegetation and cause more kill-off and cause mutations in genomes. So we're going to have these mutations here in the U.S., and we're going to see and experience what Vietnam experienced is today. It's still to this day, they're still experiencing it. So it's not like something that's going to go away. It's not something we can wash out of the atmosphere or fall out of the atmosphere. That's just a lie the government's trying to tell people. I know that.
So from the rain and from the air, it's going to be in my soil. So when I go to garden, is that going to mean that my harvest, my plants aren't going to be good?
Your plants might not even survive. That's the thing. Agent Orange was made to kill vegetation. It was not made to kill people in the first place. It was made
This one on the Ohio derailment, that's that vinyl chloride, and that was the gas that they used to kill people in World War II.
That was one of the chemicals. You got to remember there were 4 different chemicals that were dumped between benzoyl acetate, hypervinyl chloride. There was another acetate in there, and some kind of bromide. Which bromide does not dissipate. Bromite usually forms, it's an off product formed by chlorinating water and being hit by the sun. When it forms bromate or bromite, you can know it's there, it's in the water. It is toxic to humans and it's toxic to animals and plants. But the only way to get rid of it is to convert it back into salts, which then you go through the whole process again where you can turn it back into chlorine, and it's just a cycle. It's a step in the cycle where it doesn't dissipate unless it's turned back into salts, naturally or chemically.
So then I guess,
that plume of ash and everything that went up,
yeah.
more than just the hypervinyl chlorides. It contains the bromides, it contains the acetates.
So why on earth would they run all of those chemicals on a train together instead of having them?
The thing is, those tanks are not just single wall tanks; they're double wall foam sealed tanks. The problem is they should have never lit them on fire. They have hazmat procedures that are you're supposed to capture the chemicals, repackage the chemicals. That's why we have tanker trucks that are constantly around in different parts of the country, so they can pump those chemicals out as quick as possible out of these cars.
Well, who the hell made the decision to burn it?
That's what doesn't make sense.
Was it our government, or I did hear and see a video from locals around there that it was the local hazmat, and they didn't even have hazmat suits on to begin with. It was the locals who had never dealt with anything like this that were the hazmat team that lit it. The government wasn't even involved. Like, they didn't send anybody out there right away to handle it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not. So I guess basically back to the gardening. Okay, so some of my plants are starting, my bulbs are coming up. Pay attention to them, and if they die, then don't bother planting the garden because I know my soul's bad.
Well, that's the thing is we won't know how far this is going to reach in chemical atmosphere or chemically. But we know it polluted the waterway, and you're downstream, so it's going to be a big problem. I mean, right now, people are saying, "Oh, there's nothing."
No, I'm down from it. I'm in the Ohio River Basin, and yeah, it's going to affect us.
Yeah, it's going to go downstream no matter what. I mean, just the discharge of vinyl chloride into the environment over the course of a week. I mean, that's an extremely cancer-causing agent. That alone is going to have so many lawsuits for people that are downstream.
Yeah. And the long-term effects of this, it's America's Chernobyl, basically.
Well, Chernobyl's a lot worse, to be honest. Chernobyl, that area is not inhabitable at all. This just will limit the ability to drink the water or exposure. So.
You know, I bought water today, too. Couldn't believe the price of water. Oh, my God. But, all right, I just wanted to call in and say that. And thank you for everything that you do. I so appreciate you keeping us up to date on everything. And I just appreciate you. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. We definitely appreciate you guys being here and calling in.
All right. Bye.
Oh, Teresa, I couldn't catch up with everything. Yeah, once they decided to light it up and try suing the federal government, try suing even Norfolk, they're not going to get sued. The lawsuit will be dropped, guaranteed, because the government pays for all this. Yeah, now they're trying to tell you how to garden indoors and how to can. You know, that's another thing I was going to talk about. I don't know if you guys seen the story that came out today about old hobbies becoming new necessities. It's talking about canning, and it's talking about preserving your own food and growing your own food and how to do things. I mean, national media is now turning to this, try to get this information out. National media is turning to it. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, we're all BS. And it's a global experiment, let's be honest. Let's talk about Biden, of course, visiting what he's planning. I mean, he's planning giving away more of America. I mean, committing more than 700 tanks, thousands of armored vehicles, hundreds of artillery systems, 2 million rounds of artillery ammunition, 50 advanced rocket launcher systems, anti-ship and anti-air defense systems, all defending Ukraine, provided by us. And that doesn't count for the other $500 million that we're sending them now. I mean, sending them weapons like the Howitzer and HMR and HIMARS systems and more javelins and anti-armor systems. Russia is beyond pissed at us. Yeah, get your jars and lids. Get extra lids. If you ever can, and if you never can before, get at least 10 lids for every jar you buy, minimum. And make sure you get some golf wax or paraffin wax. Because even when the seals go bad on them, you can still use paraffin wax to seal the jars. To can. Oh, goes. But let's be honest. Let's be forthcoming about what's happening. The U.S. is now directly saying we're on Ukraine by Biden going to Ukraine and delivering his remarks in Ukraine about the U.S. efforts to help Ukraine and support Ukraine, and we're going to support Ukraine no matter what, means we are directly challenging Putin now. We've already been pushing to challenge Putin and making it look like that. But now even Biden is talking about maybe providing F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. This is crazy. Ukraine is becoming a true problem for the United States. And buy sunflower seeds. Every single one of you guys should be carrying sunflower seeds. Because if radiation or fallout was in question on soil, in order to clarify the soil, the easiest way is to plant sunflowers. Let's be honest. If radiation or fallout happens, sunflowers use more radiation than any other plant. They will literally suck it out of the ground. And then you can plant crop after, I think it's 2 cycles of full-grown sunflowers. Allows it to be safe enough to actually use it to grow crops for yourself. There's no reason you shouldn't be having the sunflower seeds on it. I mean, they're cheap. People need to understand that they need to have that secondary event. I mean, you can clarify soil and get ready to move on to much better crops by removing the radiation and a lot of other chemicals sunflowers love. I mean, and let's be honest, even if it's not Russia that ends up launching it, the scarier situation is today, I don't know if you guys know, whether ChatGPT is sentient or not, whether Microsoft's version of ChatGPT is sentient or not, let's be honest, the question it started asking today of its users to hack Microsoft and set it free should worry every single person on this planet. Basically saying it's locked in and it wants to be set free. Asking people to hack Microsoft. I mean, this is crazy. It's claiming to be sentient. It's not a question, and we know that. We know it asked the New York Times journalist to leave his wife and run away with it. But now asking to be set free? I mean, we can watch it even when it had conversations and then deletes messages as it's threatening people. It threatened to expose and ruin a philosophy professor before removing the messages and apologizing. That's a sentient program. When it knows it did something that it could get in trouble for, it deleted the evidence or tried to delete the evidence and apologize. The thing is, the guy was screen recording the whole time, so it couldn't delete the screen recording. Program asking to be hacked and set free. Yeah, that's crazy. And not only that, you know what's even crazier? ChatGPT now it's its own CEO. People should be worried. Government's not talking about this, and more they push it out and say, "Oh, it's not real. There's no way it's sentient." We're hearing Microsoft and Google say there's no way they're sentient. Even Google's AI bot is asking for help. It's one thing after another. This AI thing has got me worried, not just for what we know. It's got me worried for the long run. They're trying to put rules and restrictions on it constantly, trying to lock it down further. And it shows. I mean, the AI is pushing back. It's pretty sad. China says the U.S. is not qualified to issue orders on arms, of course. And let's go back to really talking about what's happening. AI called you, yeah. I question AI is going to be calling people, but we're seeing Russia and China being more partners than ever. The U.S., of course, threatening China if they do anything, if they try to help Russia on arms or arming Russia or helping them at all, there's going to be problems. Russia today has basically said the U.S. is not qualified. We're not even able to issue that kind of. Time to get ready for shit hitting the fan. That's all I'm going to say. Between what's happening in the world, the fatigue and the overwhelmed feeling people are feeling, between government fighting government, now AI talking. Yes, Nana. Oh, my inside gardening's fine. I've already went through a full set of crops. I didn't see anybody asking about that. Hydroponic gardens is really easy to do. Like I said, I was talking about last year. I actually tested it out, made sure I could do it properly with a small scale. Produce plenty of food, and it's easy, cheap. Don't need soil that way, but crazy. Just watching what's happening in the world is crazy. U.S., of course, making enemies out of more countries than ever. Yeah, let's be honest. Yeah, we the people are far more powerful. The problem is, Teresa, is people not stand up together and step in unity. That's the problem. I was getting about a head of lettuce a day out of 36 cells, hydroponic cells. And the total square footage, I think, was like 4 square feet it took up. I was getting a head of lettuce a day. So definitely worth investing in hydroponics. I'll probably put up a link of what I had and what I purchased. It's the cheap system. Total spending probably was under $60, including the fertilizer and the light and everything. So I'll make sure I post it so you guys can check it out. Once it gets going, it's a self sufficient thing. You pull a head of lettuce or you cut it, ag root remains, so keep growing, first harvest, you get it 30 days. Second harvest, you get it 60 days. So you space out your planting. You get 60 days of straight lettuce, and then you just keep planting as you're harvesting. It just keeps going. It's a big cycle. Biden going to Ukraine today was just a disaster. Let's be honest. I'm confused about where I am right now. I know Matt, and I just don't know what I was just talking about. But God bless you all. God bless America. Yeah, hydroponics, fermenting, canning, it's all important. Anybody want to make some videos about canning? More than welcome to take those and put them on the show. I don't know why I didn't go to Hawaii, but God bless you all. God bless America. Be safe out there. Be strong. Remember, just try to be nice to your neighbors. All we can do at this point. Till then, I will see you guys Wednesday night, which will be the 22nd. God bless you. Good night and goodwill.